Come and make Lagman with me. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be making a Central Asian dish called Lagman. So usually if you go to Central Asia, you most likely might find this dish called Lagman. And so today I'm going to be showing you the recipe of my mom and my grandma. Of course there's many other ways to make it, but I'm going to be showing you my way. So first I'm going to be telling you the main stuff of this dish. So we're going to be using beef, but you can also use beef, lamb, or you can try using chicken, but mostly it's beef or lamb. So for our other ingredients, we use a red bell pepper, a green bell pepper, and then we have our dill, our parsley, and our cilantro. Then we have our Roman lettuce, we have our celery, and we have our fennel. Okay, so next thing, we are using garlic and onions. And so sometimes you can use potatoes and carrots. We're gonna be using it in our recipe today because we usually do. Some people don't use carrots and potatoes, but we are. So next, you could use either tomatoes or tomato sauce. So some people, let's say if you don't have tomato paste, you could use tomatoes. Or if you don't have tomatoes, you could use tomato paste. So next in our ingredient, we have, this one is a turnip. Then we have our deacon radish. Then we have our parsnips and zucchini. Zucchini. Okay, then we have our two little radishes. And here comes a part that you should know about. If you're going to be serving this to adults, you can use jalapeno. But if you're serving it to kids, do not use jalapeno. Then we have our pasta. So depending on the family size, you can use 2 packets. But usually if it's a normal family dinner, just use 1 packet. Then we have our 2 choices of oils. We have our olive oil and an extra virgin olive oil. They're both extra virgins. So you can use any extra virgin olive oil. So now let's go to the spices. For the spices, every spice needs to be used. But I'm gonna start off with the ones that are like pretty important. So we have our salt. We have our pepper, black pepper, and we have our ground cumin. For the next spices, you will use a spicy organic cardamom ground. It doesn't have to be spicy, it could just be cardamom ground. And then paprika. Then we have our ground turmeric. And then we're gonna have our spicy organic coriander seeds. So you could use seeds or you could use like the smashed up ones. And then we have our cloves. So you normally use only a few, like 2 is enough. It kind of reminds me of a Demogorgon if you look at it. So I'm gonna be showing you how you have to cut it. So let's just do another. Okay, so here's an example, like this. Put it in the bowl. So this is how the pieces are gonna look like. And here's a bowl. I'm gonna be cutting up the onion. So you could use half an onion if you want. You're gonna cut them into 4 pieces and then chop them up like squares. And you're gonna mix the 2 bell peppers together. So you're gonna chop them squares. Clack it. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna finish up doing this. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, so this is how it should look like. They're gonna be all mixed up together, you see? So we're gonna put this all together. So this is the turnip, zucchini, parsnip, carrots, radish, and this is the daikon, I'm pretty sure. So you're gonna cut them all up like little French fries. Okay. Okay. So this is, so you basically, yeah, you cut them up like little sticks. This one's a little hard to cut. There we go. This is a tricky one to cut. Oh, wow. Okay. We did it. So we place them in. And remember, you put them all together. These ones. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I have to also cut these up. Gonna do that. Yeah, these are really tricky to cut up. Okay, so now we're moving on to the carrots. So for the carrots, you're also gonna cut them into sticks. So let's do that. This is taking kind of a while, but that's okay. We're gonna have a great result. Okay. Okay. We're gonna cut these up. Remember, cutting them up into sticks is the best. Cut these off seam because it's taking way too long to cut them. So, okay, so for the radish, you just put it in half. So this is how it's gonna look like, kind of like this. And then I'm gonna cut this one up really quickly. 1 and 2. That's a daikon. And then I'm gonna cut the carrots off seam because it's too long. We're gonna have 4 pieces of celery, 4 sticks. So you're gonna cut them up into little squares and I'm gonna put it in this dish. By the way, the carrots are deciding to go with the Bulgarian peppers because it's the hard part. Okay, so you're gonna cut them up into little squares and I'm gonna put them together so that it doesn't waste time. So I'm gonna go like this, put them together because the longer it takes, we don't need that. We're gonna put them up. Cut them up into small pieces, smaller than I'm doing because I'm doing really big pieces. Let me show you the results. You're gonna have these 2 pieces of the fennel, and then you're gonna start cutting until you reach like at least here. So let's start like. So this is also pretty. This is also a pretty tricky one to cut. You cut it way smaller than I was cutting. Cut it like about kind of like this, and then and you put it in. Just keep cutting until like at least this line. And that's enough. Put it in there. So I took 4 pieces of the lettuce. I already cut 2. That's how it looks like. It's supposed to be thin pieces, like small pieces, like square pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. It's the Roman lettuce, by the way. we're gonna be using 3 tomatoes. We already cut up 2 tomatoes, and we just have 1 more to left. So you're gonna cut out the green part. First, I just cut it in half. Cut this little stinky part. Then you're gonna cut that in half again. Personally, I don't like tomatoes, but with this, it's amazing. And that's it. This is the garlic. And so you have to cut it up like this. And we're gonna put it in the bell pepper / carrot bowl. So yeah, just put it in. Cut it thin. Two potatoes. Now cut them into like steaks. Okay, wait.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna cut it up like actual french fries. Oh my god. You're gonna cut it up into thin slices like this. This is dill, cilantro, and paisley all together. Cut it up in thin slices. Broke out of character. Okay, yeah, okay, let's put it in. We're using this red pot to cook like everything but the pasta. Use this pot to make pasta. It also has to have a golden color. to keep mixing the pepper until it's soft, like at least do it for 10 minutes. It has to be on high. Okay. Make the heat low, then you're going to throw in every other ingredient. 2 spoons. Let's add some. Waiting for this to cook, we're going to go ahead and start making our pasta. All the water for the pasta is boiling. We're going to add this to our and then we're going to add in Roman salad. Then we're going to add our cilantro, dough, and paisley, and we're going to add water. And this here. Ta-da! Now we can mix it and add water. Add some water. Add some salt because we're going to be cooking the pasta. This sauce is cooking, we're going to add pasta. Like it done. So the sauce is already cooked, so now we're gonna add some hot water. It's officially ready, so I'm gonna put the pasta in, then we have our soup. Okay, now we're gonna put in some of the soup. Some of that, some of this. Ta-da! Pasta. Putting some of the pasta in. Yum yum. Now I'm gonna go ahead to this part. This is the main. Look at all these vegetables and meat. Wow. I'm gonna add some soup. Ta-da!